Hey everybody, how's it going? My name is RubADub, and from the intro you could tell that this is Pocket Pals. We are a small gaming channel so far, but we hope to grow, especially with the release of this video, which is my top 10 Pokemon of the original 151. Just in case you've never played or seen anything about Pokemon because you've been living under a rock, 1996 Red and Blue came out for Americans, and we fought past all the glitches and bad graphics and horrible character sprites. Even though it was, I mean, they probably got away with it because it was the first time we'd ever seen anything like this. But now we have a beautiful game series that has lasted my entire lifetime. And without further ado, I want to bring you guys my top 10 Pokemon from the original 151 or Kanto region. Thank you guys, and I also want to make sure to let everybody know that if you subscribe, there will be more of these videos. I'm starting with Kanto, and I'm ending with the X and Y games, since they released not that long ago. I hope you guys really enjoy this. After this one, there'll probably be like the top 10 worst designed Pokemon of Gen 1 after this. But just remember, this is my opinion, and just because your favorite Pokemon doesn't make it to this list doesn't mean it's not a good Pokemon. It just means all my top 10 have meaning behind them, and you're gonna see that when we get started here. These Pokemon could be on the list for designs, because I am a graphic designer and I really appreciate good art. So it could be for design, it could be for sentimental value, it could be because of it was like the first time it could be just a story behind it, and I want to let you guys know about all of those. So just because you don't see your favorite Pokemon on here doesn't mean that I don't think it's a good Pokemon. And actually, leave a comment below on what your favorite Gen 1 Pokemon was. Alright guys, without further ado, here's my top 10 list. Thanks for watching. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Alright guys, so number 10 on my list is Arbok, and this might surprise people because I'm sure this doesn't make it to a whole lot of top 10s lists. And it's not for the stats at all because its stat total, to be completely honest, is quite low. But I'm a firm believer that any Pokemon can be a good Pokemon competitively if you know what you're doing. For instance, Dunsparce. It's overused to me, not like it's not considered an OU Pokemon, but it is overused to me because people know how to use it. Dunsparce sucks. And metagame, to me, it does. But competitively, Paraflinch is a really good strategy that pisses off people. So I believe that any Pokemon can be good if you know what you're doing. And I knew what I was in with Arbok in Black and White when I picked it up from my friend Ricardo. He sent it to my little Safari thing, Friend Safari, whatever I forget. I haven't played Black and White in a long time. But he sent it to an Arbok to me, and I used it competitively on Black and White. And I was dominating the field with Venoshock and shit like that. I just had a good team with an Arbok, and I really enjoyed using Arbok competitively and in metagame, so that's why he made this list at number 10. Next on my list is a Pokemon that everybody knows about. Even if you don't watch Pokemon, you know who this is. It's Pikachu, and there's really mixed emotions about Pikachu. Its stats are awful. I'm just gonna say that its base stat total is 300. That's horrible. But like I said, I believe that you can pretty much run a Pikachu team with a Light Orb, or maybe you just have some kind of good strategy. But honestly, the reason I like Pikachu so much is just because I've been watching the show since I was a little kid, and when Yellow version came out, I did like having a Pikachu. I thought it was cool that you kind of got to play through Ash's footsteps, because I was all into the Pokemon show. And I do like his design. Like, to me, what I think really honestly happened was I don't ever think he was supposed to be like the mascot to me. He looks like he was just supposed to be another common Pokemon, but it turned into something else. I feel like they felt like this was a good choice. So, stats aren't very good. Its speed is okay. That's its highest stat. And its base stat total, like I said, is only 300. But that's not why I like it. I just like it for the sentimental value of it was like the Pokemon. It's what describes Pokemon. When a person that doesn't know what Pokemon is hears Pokemon, that's what they think of, is this little yellow electric mouse that has been with us forever, since Pokemon started. So that's why this little guy made number 9 on my list. So number 8 on my list is Poliwrath, which it's not really for competitive use at all to me. It's really just because when I played Pokemon Snap back in the day, I was when I saw Poliwhirl, I knew that's something I always wanted to have on my team. He's just really adorable, and I ended up with one on Heart Gold and Soul Silver through either a trade or something, I ended up with one, and I had a Poliwrath at the end, and I really thought he was cool. But competitively, his stat total is at 500, and his weaknesses are pretty great. I mean, considering that, he's got a lot of decent moves, I guess in his move pool, it's okay. But his weaknesses are just too high for me to put him any higher on the list. Considering that he's weak against electric, grass, flying, psychic, and fairy. Yeah, fairy. Because of his dual typing. But yeah, it was one of the original dual types Pokemon, and I really liked using Poliwrath in my playthrough. I just wouldn't, recommend him for any kind of use in the competitive scene. But that's why Poliwhirl made my spot at number 8, because of his sentimental value to me when I saw the little family of Poliwags and Poliwraths and Poliwhirls and Pokemon Snap. Number 7 on this list is one of the most tragic Pokemon, I think. Maybe one of the most tragic characters I've ever seen in a children's game, and that's Cubone, because of his yellow entry, which states that he basically wears the skull of his deceased mother, and when he cries, it echoes inside of the skull and comes out as a sad melody. That is horrible. That is extremely, extremely sad. And I'm actually not a huge fan of ground Pokemon, mostly because they're one of the types that has more than 2 types they're weak against. Like, it has water, grass, and ice, and I don't usually go for that. But I did use Cubone, and I did have a Marowak. And the real reason I like Cubone so much is because of the controversy and the conspiracies that surround him about being a baby Kangaskhan whose mother defended him and died. And, he picked up the skull and became a Cubone. That's kind of cool. If that really was what happened, that would actually be a really cool link that Game Freak can make. So that's why Cubone made number 7 on this list. Number 6 is where we start getting into Pokemon that are more about stats. And that's with the Lapras. I love Lapras. Really not even for its stats. It's for the sentimental value. Playing through Fire Red, I didn't even have Red first. I had Fire Red because I didn't get into Pokemon until Ruby and Sapphire came out. But I had Fire Red first, I think. And I remember playing through the part where you're running through that little the building that has been everybody's been taken hostage by Team Rocket. And you talk to this one guy by chance, and he gives you a Lapras. He said, "Here, take this. Like, you can use this better than we can. This is my gift to you for saving us." And from that point on, Lapras was always on my team. I love Lapras. Its stat total is actually 535, which makes it a threat in competitive, and it is good. Its HP stat is base stat is really, really high. And with Sheer Cold and a Choice Scarf, which that is a really bitch move, but how could you go wrong if you hit the Sheer Cold with a Choice Scarf? That's it. Its Pokedex entry is also interesting in Gold and Heart Gold. It says they have gentle hearts because they rarely fight. Many have been caught. Their number has dwindled. This is kind of cool because it resembles a sea monster, and I'm pretty sure that's called a transport Pokemon. But a lot of people thought this was going to be like a sea monster. And it's interesting that people have captured them so much that they're like an endangered species. That's why you only find the one in Fire Red, and I think that's really, really neat.